Hello everyone, this is my review of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and The Night Circus is an adult novel, although I really don't think it has any real age specification. It's probably suitable to everybody, and it is a sort of amalgamation of magic realism and fantasy and a historical novel, and I've been hearing about it for some time now and thought, well, when I get back into reading some adult books, this is certainly going to be one of the ones that I pick up, because I do like the combination of all of those subgenres, and that's exciting. And I'd heard some praise for the book. I know it sold very well when it first came out. I know the movie rights have already been purchased. I've heard mixed reviews and things, and a lot of people say it's quite an acquired taste, and I would agree with that upon reading it, but I did enjoy it. I had a good time. And this was the book I got for a bargain. It was only $2! $2! Second-hand, as opposed to $34, which it typically costs in an Australian bookstore just to get the damn thing in paperback. This is the UK cover, by the way. I think it's equally as pretty, in fact, probably a little nicer than the American cover. The American cover, I should say, just has the circus tent in the palm of the hand, and for anyone who's interested, Erin Morgenstern reckons that the hand in question belongs to Celia, but I personally think it could have belonged to any number of characters from the book, but you know, whatever. Okie day, so this book is about a night circus. It comes into town, it travels around regional Europe in different cities and towns through Europe, and it is open only in the evening, so from when it goes dark till when dusk, when it goes dark at dusk till dawn the next morning. And you traverse the circus. It's not a lot of the kind of typical images and connotations you have with a circus don't really feature here. It's more so just a place of illusion and magic and just visual splendor and tricks and things. There's not so much entertainment, strictly speaking, and certainly not just on a grand, like, singular scale as a circus typically would have, and there aren't really animals featured or anything like that, except for kittens, which is brilliant. Kittens! And there's just a vast array of tents, and you just make your own way in and out of each tent. You can go back as often as you like. There's no strict way to navigate them. You go at your own leisure and your own pace, and just walk around and go into different things and see stuff. And it's more so just like a place of bewilderment and astonishment and things, and there's stuff that really makes no sense going on and all such doozies. And yes, the novel essentially tracks characters from the inception of the circus and through to its development and kind of the peak of its career, if you like. The circus comes into being because of a rivalry between a sorcerer and an enchanter, and they have been having this rivalry that's not really defined in the beginning of the book, but there's some animosity there, and also some sort of comradeship as well between these two men, who you only get a vague sense of who these guys are, and they bring in these two young kids to be their pawns and to train these kids as their apprentices, and eventually have them play off one another and battle it out. And battle is too extreme a term, I think. Apparently there's been a lot of comparisons between this novel and the Harry Potter series, which I really think is insanely lazy and misleading. It's still a very enjoyable book in its own way, but it's not action-packed at all, so get that out of your head. There aren't jewels, per se. It's very subtle and lingering and quiet in its own way, and the competition between these two apprentices is played out in a very gradual manner. So you're not going to see wands coming out and zing zong zong. That's not what wizards do. Anyway, yes, so the circus comes about as a kind of, it's the stage into which this competition is taking place, but we're not really meant to know that, and maybe the characters don't really know that. I can't say too much because I'll give a lot of things away, but the story is told through a vast array of characters. We've got the two apprentices, who are Celia and Marcus, and there are two romantic leads of the piece, and they were the two I found the most dull by far. I wanted to like them because I got the sense I was probably meant to, but I just didn't care for them very much. At times I found them sympathetic, especially as children, because they were getting pulled into something they were completely unaware of against their will and things. But I found it, they were the two that I didn't get a very clear sense of who they were as people, and their personalities were really murky, and at times they did things that I was really like, and said things that I thought, that's, you know, I can't really approve of that or understand why you would do that, and yet you got the sense that the author was trying to portray this as a positive thing, and I don't know, I just couldn't get on their side entirely, and I couldn't get a very clear idea of who they were in my head. So when their relationship came about especially, it felt really underhanded to me, and I couldn't invest in it, and it didn't feel real. And I would have much rather have seen them just have a friendship. It also moved quite quickly when it came about. It just didn't feel fully fledged at all. And I found it very, very hard to understand our two protagonists. So that was tough. And a bit frustrating, but one of the reasons I really did enjoy the book was because of all the supporting characters, and there's a lot of them. The circus has a colour scheme which is black and white, hence the book cover here. And the red is symbolic of the revers. My French is awful, so I'm not going to try and pronounce any of the French that's featured in here. But the revers are the dreamers. They're the fans, the groupies who love the circus, and we get to know quite a few of them during the course of the story. And I really came to love some of them. There's the clockmaker, whose name I've forgotten, but he makes this awesome clock for the circus, and he's like the first of the groupies. He gets it all started because he loves the circus so much when he goes there, and he's enchanted with it, and yeah, he makes friends who are also fans, and I really loved him. And there's also this boy, I've forgotten everybody's names, but there's also this young English boy. No, he's not, he's American, because he lives in Concord. This young American boy who makes friends with two of the young kids that are in the circus who do the act with the kittens, and he's a huge fan as well, and I really took to him. I thought, like, their personalities were very clear to me, and I understood who they were, and I understood their place in the story and their relationship with the circus and stuff. So the supporting characters I thought were really interesting, and anytime we were spending our time with them, I was satisfied and really happy. I was just a bit, it wasn't even that I was bored when we were with Celia and Marcus, I was just a bit confused, because I'm like, who the hell are you? So, yeah. But the side characters I loved, and I found all of their relationships and all of their dynamics really interesting, so they made it really worthwhile for me. The magic in this book is really interesting. It's vague and complex at the same time. Like, at times I really didn't quite know what was going on, but it was there was a lot of theory involved in it, and I don't know, it seemed to be borrowing a lot of different magic lore from all different fields, and it was very fascinating. I still don't quite know what was going down at times, but it was really cool, and like the effects and the stuff that was in the circus was really like visually, like I got a very, very strong sense of it all in my mind, and it was fascinating, and I thought that would be really awesome to see, or at times really terrifying to see. There was just a very good sense of atmosphere throughout the whole book. At times it was very, very, very claustrophobic, and I did feel for these characters because I came to quite dislike the circus as a whole because of what it represented for the protagonist, but also what it ended up doing and how it was affecting those involved with the circus in a negative way. So in terms of like a sense of claustrophobia and entrapment, I was really getting that towards the end of the book especially. I was like, let them out, let them out, let them out of the circus. So yeah, atmosphere-wise the book was fantastic, and I really liked it for that. And the supporting characters, as I said, I really enjoyed. And narratively it's interestingly structured because we have, it goes somewhat chronologically, but every now and then we go back in time. We also jump between different points of view for different characters. There's also second person point of view going on, where you as a reader get to be directly involved in the goings on of the book. So it opens with hold on. The iron gates shudder and unlock, seemingly by their own volition. They swing outward, inviting the crowd inside. Now the circus is open, now you may enter. So there's a lot of stuff where it's directed at you as a reader, and you're a participant, and you get to visit the circus. And that narrative device ends up being explained at the end, and I thought it worked very well, actually, when I thought, oh, I don't want it explained, but then when it was, I thought, oh, that's nice, I can understand, that's a really nice little touch. I did enjoy the book. I sincerely did. I think that it is an acquired taste just because it is the pacing is incredibly gradual, and it's like a slow burning thing where you indulge in it, and you kind of just seep into this world and just stay there and chill and just enjoy it, like in a sensual manner. It's just very rewarding, and it's kind of like just having a nice chillax on your balcony with the sun shining on you. It's sort of like that. As a reading experience, it's not action-packed, it's not exciting per se, but it's just very interesting and really indulgent, and I enjoyed it very much. How they'll make it into a satisfying film adaptation, I don't know. I think they're going to have to change a lot of plot and character stuff to make it more action-packed, so it can appeal to a Hollywood audience. I'm just not sure. I don't know how it would work in that medium, but whatever. But yeah, I know I did sincerely enjoy it, especially for the supporting characters, who I really came to care for a great deal. So yeah, I will give it a solid 4 stars out of 5 for The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern.